Hey guys, Luke here and welcome back to Season 2, Episode 9 of my West Tigers Career Mode. Now in this episode we're going to be taking on the Parramatta Eels, and then we're going to be following that game up with a game against the Bulldogs, and coincidentally it is round 9 as well. So round 9 and Episode 9, I thought, yeah, like I said, good coincidence, but yeah, thought it was a bit interesting. Now, you just saw just there, New Zealand beat Australia in the Anzac Test, as well as City defeated Country, and I think they were both pretty convincing wins, if I recall correctly. It's a bit regardless, like, doesn't really matter too much, because I really personally don't care about either of those games. I mean, they're sort of, it's a round off or whatever, for the players to have a bit of a rest and that sort of stuff, but in terms of who wins, I don't really care. I'm not really sure who would have been playing in that game. I think maybe Alex Glenn, Martin Tapau for New Zealand, maybe someone else. I think the Guamas for Fiji. I can't really think of anyone else who'd play for New Zealand. Maybe Sue. And then for Australia, I'm pretty sure Aaron Woods plays for Australia, at least in this game. And then I think Sam Thaiday probably would have got picked as well. Maybe there was someone else, probably not. Maybe a Keith Galloway or someone got picked, but yeah, I would doubt it. Now, a great start to the game by Parramatta. Not so much for us. As you can see here, we finally get a bit of the ball. 20 minutes in, we get a strip straight off us, and I've got to say, Parramatta were all over us. They're not a side that I've really felt any danger or anything towards us. I don't think they're a particularly good side. I think they're a pretty average side in this game, apart from a few players here and there, Pete's and Norman and a few of those sort of guys. But for the most part, there's no Hopewadi this game, who troubled us last season. There's no Sando, who's a good player in this game, and right here, it's sort of everything sort of fixed itself up. I mean, Eels have been dominating for the first 25 minutes. Took an error from them while they were attacking our end, and we just capitalised on the scrum. The scrum's a great place to score lots of tries, and it's pretty simple stuff. If you can just get it out to the second receiver rather than the first receiver, if you can get it out to him, wait for that first receiver who doesn't get the ball to run around and do a bit of an overlap, or create a bit of an overlap, and just get it to him, and then all you got to do is draw and pass from there and take on the fullback, which we did with Kevin Naguama. So pretty simple stuff. Now right here, this is just absolutely woeful stuff. John Folau, I don't think he's particularly that good player in real life, but on this game he's very, very good, and he just bumps off Tedesco like Tedesco was just some chump. And I've got to say, Tedesco been missing a lot of those tackles. I know it seems to be a bit of a theme. I say that all the time, Tedesco missing those tackles, and it's just what it is. He just keeps doing it. It keeps missing them, and it's super annoying. But thankfully we do end up sort of going and hitting back almost straight away. Not really, but early enough, or it wasn't too long that it was 6-all. And the best thing was, it was just for halftime. It was about 38th minute that we scored, so there wasn't really a time for a reply for the Eels. I'd say their try sort of came back fairly quickly. Sorry, the first time I'm talking about. So yeah, it was nice that they didn't have a chance, because 12-all halftime after scoring that sort of chance, it would have been quite annoying, but it didn't happen. So just all hypothetical stuff at this stage, and we don't have to worry about that. Now Griezmann throws a dummy and nearly goes through the gap, and I thought that was going to be an awesome little try. I love the dummy on this game. I love the ones we go through. I don't even know if the dummy actually plays a part anymore. I think you could do the exact same thing and not dummy, but just throwing the dummy makes it look so much better. And Tedesco, he gets up high and he grabs that ball. I think it was Docker Clay at halfback, and he's just no match for the 90 rated James Tedesco. So every day of the week, Tedesco is going to be winning that battle, and I was very happy about that. Tedesco making up for his error before, and now we've got a bit of a lead going on here, a 12-point lead. And once we get into that sort of range, we start to feel very, very comfortable. And there's not going to be any repeats of the last episode where we had a huge comeback from the first game. We won the game. We had a huge comeback in the second game against the Dragons. We ended up losing on the bell. We missed the goal, so we couldn't quite do the comeback. And I'm just glad that we don't have to play comeback sort of footy in this game. It's not really my strong suit, I would say. I'm more of just a player who likes to lead from the front and from start to finish pretty much, and just play a smart game instead of having to throw the ball around a lot. But we don't mind throwing the ball around, and we are going to capitalise on the man down. I think it was Pete who went to the sin bin. Nofaluma scores his second try of the game, just cutting inside. Just very, very simple. It's quite overpowered, I got to say. I would say tone it down, but I kind of like it. I kind of like being able to do that. So I don't know. I don't really know what the solution is, but yeah, we've capitalised on it a lot throughout this season, and the last season, and pretty much all these games. Right here, Luke Brooks just cuts back inside, takes on, I think it was Bo Champion, and that was really, really nice try from Luke Brooks. We had a few options, could have went to the outside player. I think it was Tim Simona or someone, or we could have cut back inside. We went for the inside just to cut back inside because the change of direction just too much, and we had a bit of, they were gaining on us a little bit. I think had we tried to just pin the ears back with Luke Brooks, wouldn't have made it. But Tedesco here gets rounded again, and I was not happy about that at all. Tedesco obviously been very good for us, but just defence. I don't know what's going on with his defence this season. It's not been up to scratch, but I'm not going to say it's never going to get up to scratch because it will. He's a great player, but for right now, not really working out too well. Thankfully here, Parramatta blow a chance, and I've got to say, we've got so much of, we've got too much of a scoreline for them to score a few tries. It doesn't really mean much, but at the same time, we don't want to concede those tries, and thankfully they dropped the ball, we grabbed it, and we launched up a bomb with Brooks. Nguama comes out as he's done a lot of times this season. We just throw up the bombs, and we scored a fair few tries from bombs. Got the hang of it, and I think bombs, if you can get the hang of it, something you definitely want to master because it's so easy to capitalise on that sort of stuff. Now right here, I think it was Tedesco, just takes a pretty simple run here. Alex Glenn, another run, just tackled there, and we're sort of just running down the clock, as you can see, not trying to do anything too fancy or anything, and we just throw a pretty shitty pass there, and we blow a great opportunity, but the Eels have got a counter-attack on us. I don't know who it is, but we do a nice little legs tackle there through Kevin Nguama, and we win the game. Pretty simple stuff. Never really in doubt the win. I've got to say, at the start, the flurry that the Eels had, whether they're getting repeat sets and that sort of stuff, I wasn't too thrilled about that, but we held off, and I'm pretty happy with our defence. I think that was a great telling point of the game, is our defence was really, really good. In saying that though, Tedesco, his defence wasn't that strong in that game, so I was a little bit disappointed with that, but for the most part, we were very, very good that game. Moving on to the Bulldogs, they're a team we've had no problem with in the past, and you see there Hopewadi, who, yes, I was right in saying that he used to play at the Eels last season and moved on, because here he is at the Bulldogs this season, and I think in real life he's actually signed with the Bulldogs for the 2016 season, so that's a bit funny. I think this is 2017, so this is 2016, so yeah, same sort of circumstances, but obviously a lot of teams are different, but they've got that transfer up, which is pretty funny. That should have happened. I'm recording it so far in advance that nothing official's happened, but yeah, this is relevant. I'm going to get off that. Now, Keith Galloway had a really nice run to start off the game, and then following up with a pretty nice kick there from Curtis Sirinen. There's been a few people saying Curtis Sirinen, getting him out of the 5 position, moving into the back row, and I'm going to say right now that there's not really any superstar 5'8" on the market, and at this stage Sirinen has been really good for us. He hasn't really done anything wrong. He's not the fastest player, which is what I see a lot of people say, and we got Mitchell Moses, a few other people we're trying to groom to sort of get their ratings up and that sort of stuff come in. But at this stage, Curtis Sirinen is doing a fantastic job. He can tackle, which is really good. I like having a strong defense in that sort of position, as well as he's a pretty good ball runner, which is what we like as well. So he can parries wherever, which he's done plenty of times last season. This season hasn't had to do too much, been more of a Brook show, but Sirinen definitely gets the job done at 5'8". So moving to the back row is something that will probably happen down the road, but at this stage we got such a strong back row and lock and all that sort of stuff that we don't need to do it, and the 5'8" position is something that we need Sirinen there for. Our backups just simply don't cut the mustard. But we had a few opportunities on the Bulldogs line. We only came up with, I think it was just the one try, as you can see there. Didn't have a look at the halftime scoreboard for whatever reason, so just have to make do with that. But a great start to the second half. Chris Lawrence picks up a pass, and I think it was Curtis Rona playing in the centres. He's a centre in this game for whatever reason, and with that, Josh Morris not in the side, or he's either moved on, I don't really know, but I think it was Lafai and Rona. And then we palmed off the winger with Kevin Nguama and went straight over the sideline, which is quite annoying. And I've got to say, Bulldogs have got a man down. I didn't show that, but we've got to take advantage of that man down. It's something that when I'm editing the videos, sometimes it just doesn't come up in terms of making a huge sound, which is how I sort of base off these highlights. If the crowd sort of goes up, makes a bit of noise, it's easier to see when a good opportunity's happened. For example, this try here, the crowd would have went up, you see the fire going off and all that sort of stuff, so you could tell that was easily a try being scored or some sort of big moment, compared to some of these sim binnings that just nothing really happens. And we scored the one try, nothing major happened, just that one simple try, but I think we would have scored that try regardless. But right here, this is just brilliant play. This is just going back off the kickoff. The defence compresses a lot, and just there's no pressure, no line speed, no nothing from defence after you score off, that kickoff coming off the back of points scored. So as long as you play it pretty smart, and don't try and force a pass, but just try and get some open space for some of your quick men like Tedesco, and I say especially down that right hand side due to the fact that the fullback will get involved, because the fullback doesn't seem to come across the left hand side, which is so annoying. I don't know why they've got that, but that's just what happens. And now right here, Bulldogs have an opportunity, 16-0 up, so not really too concerned. You see there, Cameron King absolutely gassed. He's just gone at this stage, and I think there's a good chance we gave away that penalty just to try and get Cameron King off. But yeah, we just had to also give away that penalty just to reset the line. I thought we'd just too much going on there, and it was a good thing because we ended up surviving. And then right there, Tedesco was on the receiving end of a forward pass, but so close to being a great little play there. But we get the ball out to Alex Glenn, and he's actually been a great signing for us as well. I've talked about Thaiday a lot in terms of him winning penalties and that sort of stuff, but Alex Glenn gets through a mountain of work, plays the whole game. Sam Thaiday can as well, but we give him a little bit of a break. But yeah, Alex Glenn, great player. I think he's progressed a fair bit for us as well. Now Kevin Nagama steps around a player, and then Corey Thompson, he comes across and he gets nobody, absolutely nobody there. Pathetic stuff by Corey Thompson. If only they had a James Hart on their side. Unlucky Bulldogs. But yeah, we end up scoring another try, and 20-0 it is. And you know, Bulldogs, we must be their bogey side. Even in real life, I know Bulldogs seem to have trouble against the Tigers for some reason. Even in, you know, Tigers aren't really a great side in real life. No offense, Tigers fans, but you know, they just seem to be able to pick up wins against Bulldogs, and convincing wins at that. Now right here, Nofaluma, can he get another try? And you see Moses Mbai is chasing really, really hard. Moses chasing, and he gives up. Nofaluma scores his second try of the match, and it's just a blowout at this point. And we kept them to nil, which is what I'm really, really happy about. We know we can score points now. We know we can defend pretty well, but keeping teams to nil, that's really, really impressive in my eyes. And one last chance before full time, we put a kick in. Now Bulldogs going to make a little bit of a break here. Have I spoken too soon about keeping them to nil? I think it's Brett Morris down the wing. A good tackle there by Luke Brooks to end the game there, and that was just a solid all-around performance by the team. But Luke Brooks, I thought, had a really good game, and it was fitting that he made that last tackle. Alex Glenn, he scored the try. He picked up man of the match as well. So you know, I was talking about Alex Glenn throughout the video, and I've got to say, man of the match, well deserved, I'd say. Now here's some of the results from round 10, and I won't show the ladder because we have a bye for the next weekend, so the ladder will come in next episode, and you have to take a proper look at that, because I don't want to spoil what the next week's fixtures and results were, or sorry, next episodes I should say. So we'll leave it there. Thanks for watching. If you did enjoy it, please leave a like, subscribe to my channel, follow me on Twitter at Mr. Luke YT, face the page in the description below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.